I suck at
And it's
Smash.
so funny because
You play Baby Bowser, Bowser Jr.
so what do you have against babies?
Well, I specifically like when Baby Bowser falls out of the thing
And
and
he
it's like a
hits with
little
that little
thing,
hammer.
and then I Falcon punch the shit out of that baby.
You can ask me to start after that. That's
I'm gonna
too
say,
funny.
okay, so 4:45 start time. You have 7 seconds, six, seven
Six,
seconds.
seven.
All right, now
I
you have.
just peaked so hard on that. I
All
didn't even
right,
have to
you ready?
look at that to see how crazy it was. Playing Smash Bros has been a lot of fun because I only ever play this game when I have tryhard friends who are way too serious about it, and
Mm-hmm.
I have to lock in because I'm not gonna let a whole bunch of boys beat me at Smash Bros.
And that's how I feel. I'm actually so grateful that I actually have it at home now because I was never trying to practice against playing people. But now be playing it at home, I've been playing a lot better.
And then I come and I play, and everyone's so sweaty, and I am not doing good, and everyone's nice to me in a way that's like, you're doing okay, you're trying, but I see the looks, and I go, no, I gotta get better for
Yeah,
me, not for anyone else,
yeah.
because I'm the Smash Bros. Player in
Start
my
the
heart.
pod, dude.
I'm gonna.
No, I mean like right now.
No, don't tell me what to do. Hi everyone, welcome to Coasting the Mediaverse. My name's Michael,
I'm Brian.
and today we're jumping into video games.
Video games.
Before we do that though, if you just listened to our last episode regarding television, we hope you really liked that. It was really exciting for us to do. And if you didn't, maybe check it out after this one.
Yeah, guys. I mean, the first episode we did movies. Second episode we did TV, and now third episode now we are doing games, specifically video games.
Specifically video games.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we actually just came from Smash. We just had some Wingstop, had some Mountain Dew, played a couple games of Smash. I think we're ready to get into this
Which
convo.
is kind of a classic combination for me, which like, growing up, I think we all had different gaming foods. Maybe we start there. Like gaming
Ooh,
was really fun because I knew I was gonna pair it with some kind of really bad snacks or
sure.
exciting little things like pizza, we know, and wings, and Mountain Dew for some
Yeah.
reason was the staple of video games for a long while.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my brother would go to this store called Winko's and
Okay.
get a like it's pretty much like a sandwich, like a sub deli sandwich, po' boys, and they were really like bad quality,
Okay.
but it was just so cheap. And then I would get
Sure.
Arizona's, and they were awesome.
At the end of the day, with gaming food, you don't really need like it just doesn't need to be like the best thing ever. It kind of just something that's fun to snack on.
Right.
Except controversial thing, I don't do any form of chips or any form of food where I'm like getting my fingers a little dirty because I'm very particular about keeping a clean controller.
That's fair, and that's reverse like ideas of when you're eating food. You see a lot of the meta. It's like people with Cheeto
The
hands playing
Cheeto
video
hands,
games, right?
yeah.
Wait, I think maybe as a kid I was like that, like gross
Yeah.
Doritos all over my controllers.
Oh, yeah.
But eventually I started going, yeah, no, I gotta make sure my hands aren't greasy.
Yeah.
Gotta that sometimes honestly I don't even eat while I play games just because, like you said, I don't want the controller dirty.
I think my most recent gaming snack is the Trader Joe's chocolate covered espresso beans. Oh
Mm.
my God. Because I'm addicted to coffee. But that's a great way for me to just kind of like snack on it. I don't even realize that like halfway through playing a game, I'm just devouring like a full container.
Well, I actually haven't ate any of this. That sounds really good.
Really?
Yeah, I've had like coffee beans in general, but never from the Trader Joe's. So I should
Yeah.
try them.
Oh, they're really good. They're dark chocolate, so like they're not too sweet, and I'm telling you, it's a perfect combo.
Such
Oh,
a random connection to video games before we actually talk about video games.
yeah.
When back in my day, I was a mall rat, so I used to
Okay.
go to the mall all the time. That was like our fun thing to do
Are you
for
talking
some reason.
arcade?
So we had an arcade, but it wasn't just an arcade.
Oh.
We had this place called Howie's. It was
Oh.
like one of the first gaming places where you go in. They had setups for PCs, Xbox 360,
Okay.
all those things, and you just go and you pay money to play games all day.
Yeah.
But for some reason, one of their biggest things was selling monsters to kids. Like I remember me and
Yo.
my friends going buying Game Pass and just buying monsters. Like, A, why did I need a monster as a kid to play video games? And B,
Fair.
caffeine and video games for some reason goes hand in hand for like locking in
For
purposes, whatever.
me, it definitely goes hand in hand. I mean, now it's coffee, but I feel like Monster was the drink of choice growing up. I mean, especially playing games. Call of Duty and Monster.
Yeah,
Are you
right.
kidding
There
me?
was oh my
That's
god, there was tournaments about that, or like fighting games.
yeah.
People were playing like Street Fighter or Marvel vs.
Oh yeah.
Capcom. Good stuff.
Ooh, Marvel vs. Capcom. What a fun time.
What a fun time.
All
Maybe we
right.
start with what was your favorite console out of all of them? Just a tough one because we know
Um,
we love games in
I
general.
totally just blew into the mic and just peaked the hell out of it. So listen, deal with that.
Well, the energy on video games is kind of crazy. We've let loose,
I think no, so for video games, you and I were just like, this is gonna be like different than movies and TV because we have like a certain amount of respect for it, and not that we don't have a certain amount of respect for the games because we certainly do. Like we're gonna get into like things that we really love about
Yeah, don't
games,
let him speak for me. I think
but
he's
for
just
some reason,
caffeinated.
I'm just like in more of a chaotic mood talking about
He is
games.
squeezing this pillow
I'm
so hard.
squeezing. Maybe it's all the
I
coffee.
think it is on the cuff. We had so much caffeine before this, thinking we were not caffeinated enough.
Yeah.
Okay, back to consoles. I'm gonna take
Yeah,
the
yeah,
lead.
yeah. Consoles.
My favorite video game console, because it was so nostalgic to me, was the GameCube.
Yeah.
I love the
Yeah.
GameCube. Like I obviously I played a lot of consoles growing up, but I think that was my first console that I was gifted where my brother was like, "Hey, this is yours. You do what you want with it." Like like anytime I use his controllers or his things, like, oh, he let me, but he just like take care of my stuff.
Yeah.
The GameCube, he was like, "Hey, bro, this is all you. You do whatever you want with it. Put stickers on
Yeah.
it, do your thing." And I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
So many of my favorite games, just in general, that I remember playing came from the GameCube because I like went through so many different ones.
Yeah, for sure. GameCube, totally solid. I wanted to say the PS2.
Nice.
PS2 was awesome, had a lot of amazing games on it. I also loved the intro when it like that sound it made and then you like go into the files. It was a really fun game or a fun game system. I think I'm gonna give it to the Wii. The
Oh,
Wii was way ahead of its time for no reason.
yeah.
Like, what were they doing in
The
2006
little
giving us
sonar
Wii's?
bar, or what was it? The
The
little,
little bar that
yeah, the
like
sensor bar.
tracks yeah.
Insane. Like Wii
I
Sports nights went hard.
when I'm telling you, like, spoiler alert, we're gonna get into a top five like we did for TV and films. I considered putting Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resorts somewhere in that top five.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why. It was great.
It
There's
was
so many
so
Wii
fun.
games that I did think about, but I'm like, I just can't.
It's so
Um,
fun, especially the Wii Sports Resort. There's like the sword fighting thing, and then the airplanes. I'm telling you, like, I can just cruise around that island with the airplanes for like hours.
wouldn't it be so fun if for like a little bonus episode we played through all the Wii Sports games against each other and tallied it up to see who could win the
My God,
most?
okay. I mean, you're saying this now, but like people might be listening and be like, "Yeah, I just watched the Wii Sport Championship last week."
Yeah, and I won.
Yeah, okay.
So
All
try again
right.
next year.
Yeah, we're gonna do boxing, and I'm just gonna start beating the
Little Mac style.
shit.
Yeah, no, the Wii was great. Speaking of games beyond its time, I have a couple that come to mind. I think the
Mm.
PSP was like
Yeah,
the first
played a lot of
handheld that
Battlefront
really
on there. Yeah.
didn't. And then you can watch movies on it too. And I remember really wanting one.
Really?
Yeah, they made discs
Oh my
just for
God.
movies for the PSP.
That I never
Wow,
got.
right? Imagine watching like Fast and the Furious
I
on
feel
your
like Fast and the
PSP.
Furious was designed to be watched on the
Exactly,
PSP.
right? And
Oh, DS?
DS was great.
DS was the first one where I was like, we're living in the future.
I mean, DS was so much fun.
Touchscreen? Hello?
Little stylus too.
Yeah.
Wild.
They put a stylus on like a gaming console. Like, I feel like nowadays, if you wanted that little stylus, it's gonna be like 30
30
bucks.
bucks.
Yeah.
Sounds exactly like how much it would cost.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever played this one, but it was called the Dreamcast. The
No.
Sega Dreamcast. Sega had its own console for a while.
Sure,
They were
yeah.
trying to push out their own games, and I like anyone here with a nostalgic love. You got Power Stone on there. That's actually where I played Sonic Adventures 2. Really fun
You played
game
Sonic Adventure 2 on
on the
the Sega?
Dreamcast.
Oh, that makes sense.
And the cool
It is
thing about it
Sega.
was, if you guys have not played Sonic Adventures 2, me and Brian love Sonic Adventures 2.
Oh, yeah.
There's this place called, was it Chow World?
Chow World. Okay, so me and my friends, or me and my sister called it Chow World for the longest time. And then someone recently was just like, no, they're called KO, like KOs or Chaos, because it's spelt like
No, they're
chaos.
Chows. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
want to hear it.
Chows.
They're Chows.
They're just Chows.
In the chaotic of this episode, don't talk to me if you call it KO, whatever. It's Chow.
Yeah,
But
agreed.
anyways, long story short, you can you're playing as Sonic and the crew. And in some parts of the game, there's like mini games. You have little Chow creatures that
They're little babies.
you take care of. You can bring them like special animals that give them abilities, like
Yeah.
wings and horns and stuff like that. And you have to take care of them because
Yeah.
they can die,
They
right?
had the little, you can bring them to little races or little fighting
Yeah, the little partings
competitions.
are so much fun.
Those were a lot of
Um,
fun.
but anyways, not getting lost in it.
So true.
In Chow World on the Sega Dreamcast, your controller almost had like a little screen in the middle, kind of like a
What?
Tamagotchi. And
Okay.
so for this game specifically, you can do things with your Chow on the little Tamagotchi where you can take it around with you. And I never did
Whoa.
that because my brothers and I got one time
Fair.
I erased his file.
Oh, all those poor children.
That's what I thought, and somehow I saved it.
Oh, thank
I
God.
don't know how. Don't ask me how I did it, but I was the scaredest I
I,
ever could have been. Like
yeah,
imagine erasing someone's video game file.
yeah,
Like, and that's happened to me in, like in Pokemon
sure.
and
Oh
some of
my
the games.
God, Pokemon. Pokemon's the worst for that because you only got one save file. So like, if you wanted to make play another game or you wanted to let like a sibling play another game, you had to be willing to part ways with that world.
Yeah.
I started up a game of Heart Gold recently, and I found my Heart Gold from when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and then I booted it up, and I was ready to delete that world, even though I like didn't even finish it. And I
Whoa.
looked at all my old Pokemon, and I'm like, damn, you're about to like not exist in like 2 seconds.
Oh my Jesus.
It's crazy. It's dark.
Yeah.
I had to get that red Gyarados so quickly, but I had to wait until like midway to the
Midway
game.
through.
Yeah.
But let's go into Pokemon. Pokemon is a great game.
Pokemon, well, is it in my top five? No.
It's not.
It's also like Sonic Adventure 2. I was considering putting it in my top five. Pokemon Diamond is probably the one that I spent the most hours on.
Yeah.
Something about the world, Dialga, Palkia, Giratina, they are just something about them click for me.
Yeah.
Darkrai. Darkrai was like the pseudo legendary in that world, where it was like focused on dreams and nightmares.
hmm
Oh, it was so cool.
I actually played the least amount of Diamond. I was
Yeah?
more like
What was your most?
Emerald, I think actually.
I played a bit of Emerald. Yeah.
And then if not that, Fire Red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire Red. Fire Red's a really good one. So my sister had the first generations and second generations, and then I had to get the third generations from a cousin, I think.
Okay.
And then the fourth generation was the first time my parents like specifically bought it for me.
Yeah.
So then fourth, fifth, and no, I skipped six because I wasn't interested in black and white. Or was that six? I think fifth generation was black and white, but I wasn't a big fan of that.
And that's the thing. I really like Pokemon. I grew up on Pokemon. I would
For
love to talk
sure.
about more Pokemon, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite game,
Yeah.
right? And speaking about getting into favorite games, before we talk about
Yeah.
our top five, maybe we just talk a little bit about the different genres, like
Sure.
what games there are.
Yeah, yeah,
I think some of my favorites, obviously, I grew up on like RPGs,
yeah.
shooters.
The
Uh,
shooters for me was probably one of the most popular games.
I never really got into racing games except like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Um,
Me and my friend played a motocross game a
okay,
lot. Yeah.
nice. Fighting games, like I said, I wasn't really the biggest into them except when my friends were like, "Hey, we gotta play this one," or I would get beat. Like, actually, Naruto Ninja Storm 3 was like a big game I played.
I played a lot of that with my roommate in college.
Don't say that because I'm gonna bring it next time. And we're gonna play.
Sounds good,
And that's the
dude.
thing about fighting games. Like, I might not play them so much, but I do have the best moments playing them because you just get so into it with your friends.
That's the thing. Like when we talk about like our genres of games, anything where it almost I can just turn off my brain and kind of just hang out with a friend
Sure.
is probably some of my favorites. So like I like a lot of the fighting games, but when it comes to just games where I'm gonna bring up Rocket League and Fortnite are
Yeah.
just games that I considered putting in my top five because I have so many fun memories with friends where we were just playing those and just shooting the shit, chatting, and we were just goofing off, having a great time. And could I remember any of the games that I played? Probably not, but it wasn't about that. And then
Yeah.
if it got really intense and we were in the final four people, or whatever, in Fortnite, it just made it more intense, more wacky. I just, I like playing games to connect with people, you know?
Sure, and I agree with that. Fun fact, I started playing Fortnite just because Gojo was in the game
Yeah.
from Jujutsu Kaisen, and I bought it, and then I won my first game, and I'm sure I was playing bots, but that was enough to get me in, and I was
That's how they do it.
hooked
That's how
for
they
a
get you.
while.
Uh-huh.
That's how it is. And Fortnite's fun. I also like the opposite of that. I like games that I played single player or with like my brother or sister watching, where it's like there's so much going on. Like I think video games have a lot of great lore. There's a lot of
Mhm.
video games that have just so much detail and passion in the writing that you get and the whole extra things that you can do. And
Mhm.
then couch co-ops were one of my favorites growing up with my brother. We like
Interesting.
play games split screen back in when that was a
Yeah.
thing.
Oh man.
And being able to just have a great time.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we just talk about our favorites and then make some time
See
for
what
the
spirals
one
into
left off
what.
after. Yeah,
Yeah. Cool. With that, let's get into. We're gonna do, top five, starting five, going up to one. Uh, you want to go first?
sure. I'll take it. I'll be player one today.
Oh my God, I'm the Luigi.
Oh, I love Luigi though. Now I don't want to be player one.
You want to be Mario? I say Mario weird, don't I?
Yeah, you do. There was a pause
I
because
knew
you
you
looked
were
at
gonna say
me.
that. I knew you looked at me weird.
I'm gonna take it because my mic is red, and I think
Okay.
red's normally player one,
Yeah. All right.
and then two's
Valid.
blue. That's you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one I have on my list, Borderlands 2 specifically,
Okay.
but I love the Borderlands series. For those of you that haven't played Borderlands, Borderlands is like an RPG in a world based in Pandora in the beginning. You're almost playing, they're called Vault Hunters. Uh, each story is different, but typically you're playing a Vault Hunter who's on a search in this, like, on this world that's kind of desolate. It's almost like Fallout, Mad Max. Kind of like there's not much really in this world anymore
Mhm.
except the savagery of it. And they're looking for treasure. They're looking for loot and stuff to just, whether for fun, because they're just kind of like, hey, this is cool, or
Yeah.
they just want wealth and money and stuff. And so
Yeah.
Borderlands 2, the second in the series, is just so great because Borderlands has so much humor involved in the game and really fun action,
Yeah.
and it's like an RPG but also first like an RPG shooter that allows you to customize your characters and play with friends up to 4 people, and it also has couch co-op.
Okay.
And it still to this day, the fourth one just came out, and couch co-op is still on the video game, which no other company's doing anymore.
Yeah.
So shout out Gearbox.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the fun I had growing up with my brother was playing these Borderlands games
Yeah.
because they added humor, they added fun, chaotic creatures and unique vault hunters, but also a bazillion guns. That was the
Yeah.
thing. There's so many guns in the world. You're kind of just grabbing different things and rotating through your inventory. And shout out my boy Claptrap, where a lot of people don't like him as an NPC. He is carrying it on his back. He is so funny. Do you even know who Claptrap
I
is?
would. I wish I knew who that was.
I wish I had a
Great
Claptrap
name.
figure in.
Yeah.
I remember he's a character who's like a robot. That's like the comedic relief.
Is he the one that Jack Black played in the movie?
Yes, I think
Oh,
so. I
I know
actually
this
didn't watch the
guy.
movie, but anyways, that's him. Um, and yeah, he's so funny. He's like the comedic relief in most of Borderlands. And he's just awesome.
Hell yeah.
And so why I like the game so much is like I said, the lore. Lore is really big in this game, and they kind of connect the universe throughout every single game you're playing. But it's just so creative, like to have so many guns in the game with like the rarity system. One cool thing that they do is they have red text on legendary guns. So like
Okay.
you get something really cool
Yeah.
in a bio of the gun that says something fun, which is something I adapted when I play D&D and I have
Yeah.
homebrew. I add red text to any homebrew item I make for one of my players.
Yeah.
It's just so fun. It makes it special. It's nice to have.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just so much to do in the game, and just kind of like again thinking back to like passing or playing it with the controller and having snacks and making a thing. Like me and my brother took time off of work to play the fourth one, and got to level 15, beat the game so fast, and had so much fun.
Yeah. I will say I knew nothing of Borderlands for the longest time. I actually watched your roommate play it recently. The artwork is phenomenal. I love the thick outlines and the big colors. I think that makes it really entertaining. And yeah, I like the customization abilities with like both the guns, the skins you can get for like your characters and
Yeah.
like your vehicles. So yeah, I haven't played. Not exactly sure if it's my thing, but also like, I'm down to try. It looks really cool. And I'm sure you guys have talked about it like before,
Oh
like your
yes,
interest.
so much. Yeah, I definitely think you would enjoy it. It's definitely a different ballpark for video games, right? And
Yeah.
it's like very unique. Like I don't really think there's. I mean, obviously there's stuff like it, but it's such a dynamic that It's kind of hard to replicate unless you're Borderlands.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
sure, let's get to yours.
Mine. So are you familiar with Rainbow Six Siege?
Yeah, I,
Okay.
I had a little small error on it.
Yeah, so Rainbow Six Siege, like the way I was talking about Fortnite, except it was a way to kind of like hang out with friends when we couldn't physically be together. Mainly when we all went to college or like I had some friends out of state. Um, it's a great way to play a game but be very serious too, because the game it's a first person shooter, but it's not kind of free for all Call of Duty, run around the map, you get shot, you go back to your starting place, you just keep doing it over and over again. It's strategy based. So you go to a particular map, you have defenders and you have attackers. The defenders have the first 30 seconds of the game to design, basically like to fortify specific walls or build or windows or set up different traps with the different operators. Because the other fun part about Rainbow Six Siege is that there are dozens of operators with all unique abilities. Um, I'm not going to list any of them right now because there are tons of them. But the game's been out for almost 10 years now, if not 10 years, and they're still putting out new
I
operators.
was gonna say they're still updating it, right?
Yeah. And it's a fun game to be strategic, but nothing too complicated, and it still has a lot of action and a lot of fun. I wasn't the biggest person with Call of Duty. All my friends played it growing up, but I myself never really loved it. But Siege had that strategic element
Yeah,
where I felt like I wasn't just mindlessly running around. I could actually kind of like dial in some brain power,
sure.
and it was fun getting wins on that.
Sure, it was a little bit more realistic. That's the thing. Like Call of Duty, it's just like at some points you're getting like 360 no scopes or slash, and it's just
Yeah,
like the grenades hitting you from a hitbox that shouldn't happen. You're like, what's going on?
yeah,
Rainbow Six was very detail oriented, where you got to make sure when you're shooting, how you're shooting, what guns you're
yeah,
using, bullet drop, stuff like
yeah.
that. Also, not rushing in too fast or
Correct.
making sure you're going as a team. That's why I never really played too much. I never had a group to play. What is it, 5 versus 5?
Five, yeah, 5v5.
Yeah, so I never really had enough people committed at the time to play that, or else I think I would have been really into it because it
Yeah,
is strategic and a lot of fun.
yeah,
And I
and that's
think,
the thing. Unlike Call of Duty, where like you can kind of just play on your own, and if you're really good, you're gonna just win, and you're gonna get all the kills and whatnot. For me, I like Siege because you have four other people on your team, and even if they're a bunch of randoms, you most likely are gonna join a party with them
yeah,
because you need to communicate heavy in this game.
sure,
So having a group of four other people is really fun, but even if you don't know the people, like it's fun to just like one of our friends that we met in Missouri, we met him years ago playing Siege.
wow,
And then
yeah,
like 5, 6 years later, we were still playing with him.
yeah,
And I think that's really cool. Because other games, I wouldn't really do that. You know, like Rocket League, I'm just, I'm playing with a random. I'm not going to be like, hey, let's go chat, you
yeah.
know?
And that's one of the fun things about like video games, like video game friends. If you ever play online on lives, like making a friend that you carried from a video game, or even if you don't anymore, just knowing that if you were on one certain game, that friend would send you a message and be like, "Hey, you want to play today?"
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with shooters and things like that. I remember those moments where like I remember there was a like I made a random friend on what game was it? Probably was Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
It was like we never talked except when we were on Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
When we were on, we were like linked together.
It's such an interesting friendship to have. Like
Yeah.
it's an interesting relationship to have with someone where it's like, hey, I've never met this person in real life. You barely even know what they look like
Yeah.
unless you like have them on social
Or
media.
like an avatar.
Yeah. But you're just like, hey, I'm just here to play game with you because you're fun to play with, and let's get it.
Me,
And that's
you,
really all it
game.
is.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Literally.
it's
And you
fun.
have the time of your life, and then you log off.
Exactly. But
Nice.
yeah, that's Siege. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. Ubisoft, I feel bad for them. They're getting hacked like every other day now.
Yeah. Tough. But for my number four, I think I'll connect it to kind of a similar field of the online. Uh, Halo. And I have to
Oh,
specifically pick one. I love all
you
of
got Halo
Halo.
in there?
I do have Halo on there. And I really so badly wanted to pick like one or two because it's Master Chief and that's what I grew up on. And I will talk about it. But I have to pick Halo Reach.
Oh, okay.
Halo Reach was just such a phenomenal Halo game because you had so much, right? You had a wonderful single player or cooperative campaign where you can either play yourself or with, a friend or a group of four, and you're following a story that's not just the well-known Spartan Master Chief. You're
Yeah.
playing with a group of people that feels more like it's you, right? When you're
Yeah.
playing Master Chief, it's like you're playing one of those badass characters in video games. In Halo Reach, you are that person, right? You're that
Yeah.
operative. You're the one that's on this planet and is going through this like chaotic thing that's going on. And the campaign is such a beautiful story. I don't know if you played it yourself.
I have not played Reach.
Ooh, you
I
need
played
you would love Reach.
I played 1 and 2 and I loved 2 growing up.
Yeah, two is amazing.
Mhm.
Dual SMGs, don't get me started.
I know.
But that's the thing. Like Reach is a great story,
Yeah.
but the multiplayer was also a lot of fun. I wouldn't say it had the most iconic weapons as in two, because two had great ones, but they also did have different technology from the different aliens that you have their weaponry. But then you also had something called was it Fire Strike, where
Mm.
then you and your group of friends join in like a wave system, and you
Oh.
keep fighting waves until you guys lose,
Oh.
and you just keep going
Interesting.
and going and going and going and going, and
Like a zombies mode, but for
kind of like
Halo?
zombies in a way, but it's just like you're playing against like waves of aliens holding you're holding a fort or a fortitude or a solitude, whatever, and you're gonna keep going, and you're eventually gonna lose, but it's about how long you can survive, like a wave, kind of like
Nice.
zombies. But Halo also did have, excuse me, Halo had the infected multiplayer thing, where you could
Oh, I
one
feel like I
person was the
remember this.
zombie, and they're like trying to eliminate everyone.
Yes,
I
I do
think it's
remember
called
that.
infected. Then you have Slayer. Um,
Slayer.
so good. SWAT came in during Halo Reach, I believe. I don't know if you played SWAT.
No.
All you had was like a DMR type weapon, and
Okay.
you had to get a headshot to get the kill.
Oh,
You didn't get the
okay.
headshot, you didn't get the kill. And so just
Okay.
like sweaty modes like that, they were so much
Sweaty modes.
fun.
True,
But
true.
I mean, like, yeah, I think Halo Reach 2 just had so much for me, especially at the time I was playing, that it just like accumulated to be such a great game.
Mhm.
But in the Halo world in general, just to touch on it, because when I talk about all these video games, I have a couple others, spoiler, that I'm going to talk about the series, but I'm going to give you my favorite as I did with
Yeah.
Borderlands. Halo was like iconic for me growing up. Like I remember having my brother's MP3 player, putting one headphone in my ear and just playing these games as Master Chief, whether I was playing with him or not. And the infected or the flood,
Yeah.
yo, scared me. I remember running through this mission called, what is it, the library, the
Yeah.
first time you ever run into the flood, and I'm like, there's things in this game that
Mm.
aren't just like normal aliens but zombies, and there's like,
Okay.
I remember it changed my life. And
You with the horror, man.
I know I
Yeah.
love it too much from a young age.
Hell
Michael
yeah.
Bren, love horror. Um, and I remember like again, I talk a lot about video games with my brother. That's kind of was our big thing amongst other stuff, but
Yeah.
like he definitely taught me a lot of the ways, and so that was another couch co-op game that really stood out for me because we grew up playing all the Halos together on the
Yeah.
Xbox, and I felt like I was always player two, and it
Yeah.
was just so nice to be invited and trusted to be the number two, because number two means a lot. You don't think about
Yeah.
it at the time, but like, hey, that's like your backup, that's your buddy,
Yeah.
And I remember every single time in Halo they have this traditional, the last level, you have to drive the Warhog,
Oh
and you're
yeah.
driving and surviving, and he always let me drive, which I
Nice.
felt so stressed, but I didn't realize at the time how much of an honor that was, because
Yeah.
you crash that car, you're done, and he
Yeah.
trusted me to drive.
Yeah.
And so, hey, I drive,
I
like Ryan
like it.
Gosling would say.
I like it.
Well, okay, let's go to you.
My top four. Oh, when I think of like top like Christmas gifts or like things that I just dove into immediately like Christmas morning, one of the first things that comes to mind is Spider-Man PS4.
Nice.
Spider-Man PS4. I I bought the PlayStation 4 or like I like got into it solely because the Spider-Man games. I was mostly my friends started playing Xbox, so I just got an Xbox so that I could play all of the Call of Duties and whatnot with them. But the Spider-Man PS4 game was exclusive to PlayStation. So I that morning when I opened it up, I was playing it within an hour. Do you know anything about the story or anything?
This dude really gonna look at me and ask me if I know what the Spider-Man story is?
Not the Spider-Man story.
Oh,
I know
you're
you
talking about.
know
I
Spider-Man.
was looking at my Spider-Man journal over there.
Yeah, I know.
What are
I'm
you talking
looking at
about?
another journal that's Spider-Man. The Spider-Man PS4 story. Do you know it?
Yes,
Okay,
I've
all
lived
right.
it.
Okay. Spider-Man PS4, the way it uses the villains is just perfect. I think that is a perfect version of Peter Parker. He he's so powerful, he's so strong. The story and his choice at the end that he makes with like saving everybody or saving Aunt May, that
Yeah,
is a quintessential Spider-Man story. It it is done so perfect. The acting is amazing. Yuri Lowenthal is
voice
the
actor.
voice actor, and he absolutely crushes
Yeah,
Peter Parker. Um, but the whole story with Doc Ock, him slowly growing into Octavius or like
Octavius. Yeah,
Doc Ock, it is just so incredible. I love when you first see him and he's attached to all the wires and everything, and it looks like he's immediately Doc Ock,
yeah,
only for then like the lights to come on and you realize it's like not actually him, and he's nowhere even near having the arms ready. But then as you slowly play that game, I just love how everything develops. You meet Shocker, you meet the Sinister Six in the form of like, what is it, Rhino, Scorpion, Vulture, and Mr. Negative and Doc Ock. I think
yeah,
that's the six. And yeah, the all of the villains are done super well. I love the designs of everybody. They're kind of like semi-realistic, like they're almost uh like mech suits in a way.
hmm
I think they're done really well. And dude, the gameplay, people talk about the swinging. There were times I was just listening to Spotify and just swinging throughout that series.
yeah,
And I wanted to include a shout out to the Spider-Man Miles Morales and then the Spider-Man 2 on the PS5. Um, both of those games are absolutely incredible in their own ways. Spider-Man 5 or Spider-Man PS5, shout out to the wingsuit
yeah.
because nothing like the only thing that they could have improved with the swinging was that
Was the
wingsuit.
wingsuit and the
And
wingsuit?
the
Yeah,
second they added it, at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about it because Spider-Man should be swinging, not flying.
yeah,
But it doesn't feel like flying. It just feels like an addition to swinging. They do such a tremendous job with it. Um, and I just love those games so much. And if I had to put one in there, I'm putting Spider-Man PS4 because I think in the first 2 months of owning that game, I beat it like 6 times.
yeah.
I loved Spider-Man PS4.
No, but it's so. I mean, the Insomniac Spider-Man, like you said, is one of the best Spider-Mans to ever exist. And obviously, it's the performance that Yuri brings and the writing that the team added
Yeah,
to it. But the gameplay was just so phenomenal. Like, as someone who loved the Batman games and the Arkham
yeah.
ones,
Arkham games are
and
great.
which make you feel like you are Batman,
Yeah,
this one, like, it just you. It's really hard to feel like you are Spider-Man in a game, and they nailed it,
yeah,
right? And I think obviously going up playing all the other Spider-Mans, the ones on the PS2 and all that stuff. Like they're
yeah. I
good, but
had
it's just
those
never this,
for
you know.
sure.
And it was game changing when it came out. Like you said, the story is just so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in a way like we're also getting so much authentic Peter Parker where you see like the little details like his eviction notices or like his
Yeah,
rent not being due or whatever. A little around the things or the interactions he's having with MJ
yeah.
and other
The
characters,
backpacks that
the
have little
backpacks.
hints to other villain fights or stuff throughout
Right.
like Peter Parker lore, you know?
And it's just like the way that they set up Easter eggs for things to come soon. And
Yeah,
yeah, and I think I remember not having a PlayStation when that game came out and being so sad that I couldn't play it.
yeah,
So I remember playing on the PS5. I waited a long while to play it, and
yeah.
it's still living up to that time. I was lucky enough to then after that play the Miles Morales,
Sure.
but it was definitely one of the
It's
best
so
experiences
fun.
I've had.
It's so fun. So yeah, when I was thinking of top games, I played, like I said, played that game 5, 6, 7, 8 times
Yeah.
back to back. I'd finish it, credits would roll, I would restart the game, and I would start from the first mission.
Wow.
I was so obsessed with it. It
I
was
mean,
good.
I know why because it's a freaking great game.
Spider-Man, great dude.
Spider-Man.
All right, get into your top three.
Okay, top three for me. I almost changed it in the middle of this,
Really?
but I'm not.
Oh,
because this game really stood out to me growing up, and it's BioShock. I don't
okay.
know if you've ever played BioShock.
Have
Uh,
not played it, but do know of it.
okay, yeah, so BioShock, for those you don't know, you're taking place in this underwater city named Rapture.
Mm.
And it is a shooter RPG-ish that also has some horror elements to it, but it's still a little bit more actiony.
Mm-hmm.
Where in this like dystopian world underwater, it's pretty much like a place where the ideal was this is where a lot of the rich and famous people would go live and kind of have their own little private city away from all the land dwellers.
Yeah.
But obviously that didn't go to plan, and everyone down there goes insane for certain reasons. And there is this concept that's really cool in the game that you have plasmids. Plasmids are like kind of like the abilities to have like almost like superpowers, like fire, lightning, and stuff like that. And there's also this certain thing called Atom that
Mm.
is connected to obviously the weird things in this world. It came from I think an eel or I forget what it was. But the reason why I like Rapture so much is like the concepts that are in the game that play with this wonderful story of this random person that for some reason gets put to Rapture and has to follow a storyline. It's hard for me to talk about it because I don't want to give away the big spoiler.
Yeah, sure.
But all I'll say is that last moment, would you kindly? That line to me chills down my spine.
Oh,
You
if you
no
know, you
idea, but
know.
if you know, you know. But it was just a game that allowed me to play a character who I thought was just gonna be like, uh, just shoot and run kind of game,
Yeah.
but realizing that there was so much things happening in the background,
Yeah.
right? Seeing like there's these characters called Big Daddies. There are people that look like they're in almost like a giant mech suit that's made for being underwater, and seeing a Big Daddy killing someone off
Mm.
screen, and you're like, ooh, I'm gonna have to fight him eventually, and being so scared and
Whoa.
like almost having like a survival horror where you're like getting kind of like superpowers and different guns.
Is
And
it a horror game?
it is. So
Okay.
technically it's a horror, but I mean I wouldn't say it's like a survival horror in a way that like Last of Us was. I
Sure.
love Last of Us
Yeah.
so much. That was the game I almost took off this
Sure.
for, but I don't know. BioShock just kind of inspired me so much growing up, and there are some other ones I love BioShock 2, but BioShock 1 just left a huge impression on me
Yeah.
because at the time that it came out, it was just like, whoa, what is this underwater shooter game?
Yeah.
That again, the story, I want to spoil it, but I won't. But it's just like that story is probably one of the best gaming stories I've ever been a part of as a character.
Yeah. Fair.
So good.
Dude, it's one of those games where I've seen it so many times throughout
Yeah.
my like, see it on Reddit, see it on different gaming circles and whatnot. It looks very cool, and I think the main suit,
Yeah.
the thing,
The Big Daddy.
yes, that is what I recognize most when I think of BioShock.
Yeah.
That's what I think of. I've always found that so intimidating. Would I have to fight that?
Yeah.
That's
And in
terrifying.
BioShock 2, you
Yeah.
are that. You're playing the
Oh,
original Big Daddy, and you're
dang.
like trying to find. They're called little sisters, what the Big Daddies are protecting, which is
Sure.
the young kids who have the atom that people are addicted to
Yeah.
and want the power, whatever.
Cool.
And the second one, yeah, you're playing a Big Daddy, and that's so much fun because now the creature that you remember fighting back in the first one, now in the second one, you are it, and you get a
Yeah.
whole different kit of stuff, and that's also so much fun.
That's an interesting concept for a sequel.
And then in BioShock
Nice.
3, it's kind of interesting because it almost has nothing to do with the Rapture. It actually takes place in the sky,
Whoa.
which is in the Utopia. I forget what it's called. Not Arcadia. But that one's interesting because it kind of touches a whole new world that has like timey-wimey concepts. It's kind of controversial in the BioShock world if people
Mm.
like it or not because it also came around the time that like RPG shooters started getting really fast-paced, almost like a Call of Duty game. So it
Sure.
kind of changed all the mechanics that we really liked. And one shout out to BioShock. If you played BioShock and Andrew Ryan, this name puts chills in you, you probably remember the best mini game of all time. And if you, as someone that I know likes mini games and games, which we'll get into,
Mm-hmm.
there's this thing when you're hacking that you have to switch around pipes to get
Okay.
to one end to the other end, kind of like a puzzle game. And that puzzle is so much fun, and the music in it is just great.
Yeah.
And a fourth one's coming out soon, which is going to be in I guess like maybe in Antarctica or like a snow area,
Okay.
but they haven't really said much about it. So hey, coming soon.
I'll have to check it out.
And let's
Very
get to your
nice.
next one.
What's my top three? Oh yeah. Relative new kid on the block. Ghost of Yotei. So Ghost of Tsushima came out, I want to say 2018, 2019. Ghost of Tsushima was absolutely beautiful. Something about myself, I love photography and specifically virtual photography in games. I spend literal hours in photo modes. Games like Red Dead Redemption, the Spider-Man games, and now Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotei. I spend so long in these games trying to capture like gorgeous pieces. And what's great is that I don't have an actual like subject, like a real person that I have to deal with. I control the whole settings. I control the environment. I control the time of day. I control what the person's doing, like in the movement and the lighting and the effects. And it's I spend hours in that. So I like those games based on that. But outside of that, Ghost of Yotei, it capitalizes on everything Ghost of Tsushima did. Ghost of Tsushima did everything great. Ghost of Yotei does everything phenomenally. The story, I think, is a lot more interesting. I think the gameplay is just stellar. You're operating with five different weapons that are like main stances, and then you also have five other weapons that are like throwables or consumables. So there's a lot of versatile ways to play this game. A lot of people like to be stealth, but if you want to just walk into a camp, announce that you're there, and then fight everybody all at once, you can do that too. Um, the gameplay is just gorgeous. Like I said, it's an open world. The character Atsu is so interesting, and the she juxtaposes Jean from the first game so well, and but they're so different, but at the same time, like they would respect each other for being on polar opposite ends, and because in some ways they are, in some ways they're not. Um, but a lot of people wonder what that interaction between the two characters would be. Um, but like I said, it's a gorgeous game. I just finished it recently, like in the last couple of days. It's stellar. I recommend it.
And this is the thing, I actually haven't played it. They're on my list because both the Ghost games are on my list, and
Yeah.
I played like 10 minutes of the first one, and it was
Mhm.
so much fun. I just fell off. And it's one of
That's
those
fair.
things. But I did like the concept of being able to stealth or just go free for all, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of games that do that. Like I remember there's game called Thief,
Sure.
or even Assassin's Creed, right? Where it's like
Yeah.
you could kind of do those things, but you typically want to be more stealth because
Yeah.
that's your character. Nah, this one you decide like, am I gonna be a full-on samurai or I'm gonna lean more into the ninja ways? And
Yeah.
that's so much fun, and I've heard nothing but wonderful things. Just gotta put the time into it.
Cause Ghost of Tsushima really is about like Jin's fall from a samurai to basically the first ninja. Like he is establishing that, and even the second game, Ghost of Yotei, refers to this ancient samurai who slowly slipped and became a shinobi over time. And they
Whoa,
hint like, hey,
that
a
it's
little
him.
bit of
Yeah,
spoilers, but they throw it out in background
that's
word
cool.
like
Yeah, yeah.
conversations. Oh, voice. Just yeah, it's so fun how they do it. They do little things like that because it takes place 300 years later, so it's not a direct sequel. So
Wow.
like Gene is not even he's a
He's a legend at
memory.
that point. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. So they don't remember his name, they don't know anything. They just know at one point a samurai left the way of the samurai to defend his place from the Mongols and succeeded. And in return, he was ousted by the samurai like code.
Interesting.
And it's so well done. And like I said, Atsu is such an interesting character. It's a very big revenge story. So she's very like heated and fiery a lot of the time. Um, it's just real, like I said, it's a gorgeous game. The landscapes are absolutely beautiful. Um, Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't wait to play it.
Yeah.
So I have a cough. That's
You
I'm
got it.
trying not to
We're gonna
die.
cut this part right here. If you
And
need to cough.
so let's get to my number two.
Yeah, let's do it.
My number two is a game that came out just recently. And again, it's going to be a game that I know you haven't played yet, and I'm really excited to get you involved in. I was just referencing it when we were talking about things like Twin Peaks a while ago. It's Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake.
Alan Wake 2, a part of the Remedy universe now, which connects to games like Control, Quantum Break, Alan Wake 1, obviously, and some other things coming out soon.
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2, though, is probably one of the best games I've just ever played.
Yeah.
Does it fit my niches of loving horror? Yes. Do I like the stories and the connected world? Yeah. But it does video games like I have never played before. So you're following two characters. You're following Alan Wake, the writer who in the first game ends up getting lost into this thing called the Dark Place, which is kind of Twin Peaks, like I mentioned,
Sure.
and this FBI agent named Saga, who's going to the town to kind of figure out what's happening in this world like 20 years later. And you're following both characters. You're
Hmm.
playing Saga, who's being an FBI agent in the town trying to solve some things, and you're playing Alan Wake, who's stuck in the dark place.
Oh,
And so the game mechanics switch between the two.
that's
And it's
cool.
not, I wouldn't say it's completely different game mechanics, but it's like Saga's, she's in this more normal world.
Sure.
So you have a little bit different equipment where Alan is stuck in this place that should be fictional, but is real too. And he's
Hmm.
trying to get out. He's trying to escape because something has him there trapped. And there's so many fun concepts that come with that, which you have this character named Door, who's almost like a god that's messing around with the character that's there. There's an Easter egg to this guy named Tim Breaker, who is a character that was in a game with Quantum Breaks, but technically they can't reference that because it's owned by Microsoft. But also, he's connected to a bigger lore of the universe because in Alan Wake, everything is a spiral and
Mm.
everything's connecting and happening at the same time that it's not.
Oh.
And it's like such a mind break of a game.
Yeah.
But there's also this wonderful this episode, my favorite episode, my favorite segment of the game that feels like an episode where you're playing as Alan Wake and you're playing through a story of hearing why Alan is going on this quest, almost like a recap from Alan Wake 1 leading
Mm.
Alan Wake 2, and music is playing the whole time you're fighting and killing things. And if you're listening to the music, it's this fictional band that exists within the game world, um, singing about Alan Wake's journey on how he came to where he was and where he's going now.
That's
As you're Alan Wake shooting things, and you're seeing
that's
everything
crazy.
play in the background. You're seeing Alan Wake himself because it's almost like within a game within a game within a game. So you're
Oh.
playing as Alan Wake, you're hearing the music about Alan Wake, and you're seeing the actor who plays the video game character Alan Wake because there is a person that is what Alan Wake's character is based on.
Yeah.
Um, he's not the English voice for Alan, but
Sure.
he's like, the body.
Yeah.
And he's actually the voice for a different character named, oh, I'm forgetting his name, is Thomas Zane, who also looks like Alan, but he's not Alan, but he is.
Oh
And it's
my
like a
god.
whole thing. And also there's a voice of Darling, who's the looks like Alan.
Oh
No,
my
not
god.
sounds like Alan, but isn't Alan. It's like again. So
Yeah.
in this segment, you're seeing this character play his story while his character's dancing and people are dancing and you're shooting things. And the cool thing about Alan Wake is like these darkness creatures, you have to light your flashlight on them to
Oh,
break
okay.
them out of their shell so then you can kill them because the darkness is like a big thing about it. And yeah, I love the game so much because you're playing with all these cool concepts and things are happening in a meta and you just kind of got to go with it. So that's one of my favorite levels of all time. And it's kind of
Yeah.
funny because in all the other Remedy games, they have like one episode or chapter that's usually dedicated to like a music thing. But this one did it so well. And at the Game Awards, they actually did a dance based on
Oh.
the actor pretending like he had no idea he was at the Game Awards and doing the whole dance
Oh.
thing, and it's so fun. So I just really love Alan Wake 2 for the reason that you're playing two different characters, and the cool thing is you can choose at what points you play as Alan and Saga. So you
That's
can
cool.
do 5 chapters of Alan, stop, do 5 chapters of Saga, then go back to Alan until you get to a certain point where they're like, hey, you can't go past this Alan part because you need to
Sure.
catch up with Saga. What I did was just went back and forth, Alan Saga, and it fits
Yeah.
beautifully. Oh, so freaking good.
Yeah.
You definitely need to play it, obviously,
For sure.
get through Alan first to get Alan Wake 2, because I do think that's important. Um, but then just to talk about Remedy for a second, because I love Remedy, then you have the Control games, which has a character named Jesse Fadden, who's in this
Mm.
place where there's the oldest house in New York City that no one can really see, kind of like Harry Pottery kind of theme,
Sure.
unless it
Yeah.
wants you to know, which has the FDC, which is connected to the people who are monitoring things that are supernatural or abnormal or objects of power that shouldn't exist in our world, but for somehow have passed a supernatural entity.
Okay.
Not to rot your brain, and not rot it, I mean more
No.
melt it, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. There's so many cool concepts that are connecting because there's characters in Control that are connecting over to Alan Wake 2 that you
Yeah.
heard in a document, kind of like you were talking about with the legends. In this one, so much of the lores are just kind of connected to each other. So if you play one game, you might have noticed something in another game.
Yeah.
Before I keep yapping, I'm gonna stop there. But
No, you're
I
good.
love
I
Alan Wake 2 so much.
I have heard you talk about Alan Wake so much, and I've heard you tell me to play it, and I'm so bad with people recommending games and movies and TV. I just always forget. But the more you described it, the more that seemed like it was right up my alley.
Yeah, for sure.
I like all of the things you said, especially like how one is in one world and one is in the other, and you can go back and forth. And that whole meta aspect where you're like witnessing different things from different perspective, or like um how did you say it? There
You're
were
playing the character while the player's singing. They're singing about you, and you're seeing
yeah,
the actor dancing on the screen.
that
Yeah,
is
yeah,
so that's absurdist and surreal, and I love that.
yeah,
So yeah, catch me
yeah,
playing that very
yeah.
soon.
I hope so.
That's awesome.
Let's get to your number two.
Cool. My number two, very familiar to this podcast, considering we played it, what, an hour ago, or like right before we started
I think
recording
right
right now.
before, yeah.
We were playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Um, I had to think if I was doing Smash Bros. As like the whole, if I wanted to do Super Smash Bros. Melee, because Melee is one of the OGs for me, and like that was mostly GameCube, um, and the technical work on that game is better in my opinion, but I've been playing Ultimate for so long now with friends, and the amount of characters that they give you to choose, I think that's just so fun.
Yeah,
Something about all the different franchises coming together in one game is very exciting to me. Um, similar to Mediaverse in the sense of like bringing all these things together. I just feel that way with Smash. Um, I play video games for two main reasons. Either I am diving deep into a world where I am playing, and I'm playing, and it's going to be heavy into character, heavy into the narrative, the world building, kind of like Ghost of Yotei and my number one, or I'm playing because I just want to hang out with friends. And Super Smash Bros. Has been that thing throughout my life where I go to a friend's house and we're playing Smash.
yeah.
And even, like I said, just now, an hour ago, we were playing Smash. And to me, it's a fun game where you can put in as much brain power as you want, as much as the other person is, and you guys just have a great time. We love playing against each other because we like making fun of each other and ourselves while we're playing. Uh, and yeah, it's just such a fun time.
And that's the thing with me in Smash is I have a love-hate relationship with it. Not really hate, but more in the sense of like I always only pick up the controller when I have friends around me that are like obsessed with it.
Sure.
And I go, okay, it's time. And then I put the mantle down when not really many of my friends are into it anymore, or life went on. So I just had to pick up the figurative, Thor's hammer,
Yeah.
Mjolnir, and just kind of get ready to get back into it. Hashtag King Diddy. Because Yeah, everyone has been playing it a lot lately around me, and now being in this apartment, it's constantly being played, right? So I'm just
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm kind of tired of losing all the time, so I need to
Yeah.
lock in and get better, and actually start shielding and dodging, because I never would playing these games, and
Yeah.
you guys make it necessary to
Yeah.
not, I have to shield or else I'm dead.
And then as soon as you get good at that, people go, "Hey, you should start grabbing more." And it's like, "Oh, that's so true. That's a mechanic of the game that I'm just fully ignoring."
At that point, like maybe start parrying, and it's just
Yeah. Oh,
like,
the parrying, crazy. Get into a couple of your mains. What do
okay,
you?
let's talk about main. So my original main.
Yeah.
Actually, pause right here.
I'll pause right
Pause
here.
right here if you're listening to this.
Oh,
And
okay.
in the comments, I want you to say what you think Michael's main is and what you think Brian's main is. Just based off vibes, based on the
Yes.
guess. Take a pause. You're probably writing it right now, and you wouldn't be hearing this because you're paused, but thank you for listening if you did. And if you didn't, it's fine. You
So
didn't.
they came back. What do you think they said for you?
Okay, so that's funny. So as a joke, Brian, when I asked this question on Threads, put Pichu, which was a
I think
funny thing.
Pichu, I don't
I
know,
can
it's
see
just
it fitting
goofy.
for sure. It's like it's not a bad thing. I just think it's funny. I think people are probably going to guess for me if they didn't hear me in the beginning say what it was. They probably would guess that I am a Link main.
Yo,
I think
I could see
I
you
think
being a
people
Link
would just
man.
kind of think that I'm a Link person. And the
Yeah.
thing is, I actually hot take didn't play any of the Legend of Zelda growing up. It just wasn't my alley, and I know I'd probably
Yeah.
love it, and I think I would like that character a lot. But I don't know. I grew up watching so many of my friends around me be so obsessed with it that I was like, I want to be different, and
Yeah.
I just kind of like didn't do it.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you think they'll pick for you?
For me, I feel like I see it one of two ways. Either they think I'm like because I'm the one who brought up Smash.
Yeah,
So I can be am I going crazy and people think I'm like a Ness main? Or do they think I'm like basic and I never left Mario? Like I could
you
just
did
be
it again.
him. What? Oh,
Mario.
Mario. Listen, I'm from Long Island. I know plenty of Marios, but people from not New York like to say that I say it
I've
incorrectly.
never met anyone else that says that, but it's fine. It's totally fine.
Listen. Or I can see people thinking that I'm like, honestly, I used to be a Little Mac main. I feel like I give Little Mac
Okay,
main,
yeah.
which is polar opposite than Ness main, because like Ness is
It's one
doing
or
all
the
that
other, right?
funky
Like you
stuff.
said, yeah.
Um, but yeah, what are some of your mains? Let's answer the question for them.
Got it. One thing that I will say is I might also give Luigi
Okay,
because I said I'm player two.
for sure.
And I did grow up, I'm Luigi, my brother is Mario. And
Yeah,
just our little thing that we have with each other. I wish I was good with Luigi, but I actually don't use him.
yeah.
But my main that I used to use growing up, even in Melee, was King Dedede.
Okay.
I love King Dedede. There's just something about his hammer that's just so much fun when it lands, it hits. His movement's a little slow, and I'm starting to realize that with shielding and running around, so I'm getting back to him.
Yeah,
But King Dedede has always been my character that I had so much fun being sweaty with.
yeah. For me, I would say my growing up mains were Link and Fox. I think Fox more so. Actually, no, scratch that. Link heavy, and then I tried to get good at Fox, and I
Okay,
just was never that fast with him.
sure.
But yeah, I know one of your mains that you're just not dropping right
So right,
now.
oh, I'm getting there. But right now,
Okay.
my main is Bowser Jr.,
Oh my
specifically Roy.
God. Bowser
I
Jr.
don't
is
know
so
what it is.
annoying.
It's about like being able to have a little bit of more agility, but also some control on the map with having your little bomb come out of the cannon and just being able to time things
That little
properly.
toy bomb
The little
thing.
toy bomb I
Yeah,
always catch you with, it's just like
always.
always so much fun. And he just like he's agile enough I need him to, but he also does cool things, and I
Yeah,
like playing around with his stuff. And even I'm trying to get good at when you do your what is it down B and you get out of the suit.
yeah,
Um, you think he's vulnerable, and he is, but he does get one hammer swing.
yeah,
And I've taken people out not knowing I'm going to hit them with that just because they let their guard down.
for
And
sure.
that's so good. And I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm just having fun with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, then my other mains, I would say Little Mac used to be, I think for Brawl or whatever, maybe Smash 4. Little Mac is hard because anytime I play people that are good, they just throw me off the ledge and then I can't get back and I
Yeah.
lose. Um, since then, I've been heavy with Greninja. I've been really big on Captain Falcon, Dark Samus, and I like to throw in a Duck Hunt every now and then just because it's goofy. And I just love throwing the frisbee and beans at the people. I don't even know if they're called beans, but that's
That's
just
just a
what
can of beans, yeah.
that's what we call it. But yeah, those they all kind of vary in different ways. I just have a lot of fun playing them, and I'm really trying to get good with Zelda now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean you're pretty nasty. I don't know why you don't think you're the best at Captain Falcon. Honestly, you catch me in so many combos. I'm just like, what is going on?
I feel like he's the easiest, in my opinion. I feel like he's very easy to just be good in. He's
Yeah,
fast, he hits
there's so many
hard.
characters that you can say that for though, but you just like
Sure.
again, there's skill that comes to
But,
playing a character that
yeah.
is just sure is good at the door, but you
Yeah.
move with it in a way that shouldn't be good.
Yeah.
Because he's also a combat person more, but somehow you own the battlefield. Like I'm playing a ranged character that is really good at owning a field, and you won't let me have time to get
I
that,
try to
right?
move around those bombs.
Speaking to that is
Speaking of
like
that,
someone that I've just started using. Shout out to, I think the best Smash Bros. Player I ever played against was Jack Dominic.
uh-huh.
Shout out him. His main was Solid Snake.
Yep.
And so I just tried him out recently because I was like, I've never used him because the only other person that uses him is Jack. And,
Yeah.
whatever. And I tried him. I'm actually having a stupid amount of fun because
You when everything that you're learning how to play with him and I see you doing different combos with him, I'm like, I'm gonna have to start fighting against a solid snake main. This is rough.
But it's just because he has so much like stuff in his kit,
For
right? Like
sure.
he has his bombs, he has the landmine where you can make sure you know where it is, and maybe your opponent didn't see you drop it, and you can catch them with it. I
Yeah.
play a little self-destructive, and I make sure we both fight on my mine. So if it
Yeah.
explodes, it's gonna hit us both, and hey, we'll both eat the damage.
Yeah,
Um,
last time we played like a couple hours ago, you killed yourself a good amount of times,
yeah,
but
I did, but hey, I'm learning.
yeah.
And then he has his missile control, which is really good against watching on the edge and
Yep.
catching in the air. And there's a lot of characters I think have pretty OP flight control, or like being able to jump around the map and just like Jigglypuff, Piranha Plant,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Now I have their bane
You can chase
and a
them.
missile that's chasing them.
Yeah.
And I chase with that missile.
Yeah. No, you have great control with it. You were chasing me around in this one we we were dying laughing because we were I was trying so hard to get around the map and you were just chasing me with this missile. I actually had to pause the game because I fell over laughing. It's incredible. I have not played a snake main in a very long time, so seeing you get really good with it has been a lot of fun.
And it's also like the thing is he's really good at some close range stuff too, and I
For
forget
sure.
that for a second. It's like
Yeah.
it's just so much fun. Another person that I've been trying to be good with is Pokemon Trainer
Pokemon Trainer's a lot of
because
fun.
you get three different kits that you gotta learn how to use. And
Yeah.
I used to be really good at Squirtle, and now I feel like I've lacked on that because I focused so much on Ivysaur, which has been really fun in my newer Pokemon career. And then Charizard is just
Charizard, I feel
so
like most
fun.
people agree is like the easiest one to do or the
Sure,
easiest one to
because he's
use
just
because
so
he
destructive.
hits
Yeah,
hard.
he hits hard.
I always found that Ivysaur was very hard to play, and I do think Ivysaur is your best out of the three.
Which is new for me, and I'm kind
Yeah,
of loving it.
yeah,
'Cause he's so much fun.
it's been great.
Who else am I using? There has to be one more that I'm forgetting.
Are you using
Um,
anybody else?
Pokemon Trainer, Snake, King Dedede, Bowser Jr. I think that might be it actually. I don't think I've really picked
Fair.
up another person,
That's fair.
and I'm trying to limit how many people I actually use.
I also think I got pretty much everybody. I don't think I play much of anybody else.
Sure, maybe I'll have another one. I'll update all of y'all on
Yeah,
it, but right now that's kind of where I'm sitting.
yeah. I love Smash. Smash loves me. Actually, it hates me because it's just I I have a love-hate relationship, like you said, but in the terms of I want to be so good at this game, and I'll play some friends and I get good, and then I'll play some other friends and they'll smack me around, and it's bad.
And then we play Smash.
Ex-
Um, okay, before we
Get
leave
in.
this, I have a really good question to ask you that I
Ooh.
didn't ask you to prep for because I wanted to catch you out of nowhere.
Oh God.
If you could add anyone as a DLC to Smash Bros. That kind of makes sense to fit in the world, so not just anyone, who would you add?
Um. Oh, so actually, I've got the answer for
Go
this.
ahead.
Where's my dude Shadow? Where's my dude
Where
Knuckles?
is Shadow and Knuckles? That is so right.
Sonic, like, why do we have like 16 Fire Emblem people and we've got one Sonic? Like, give me Shadow, give me Knuckles, give me Tails, please.
Yeah.
Like, any of them, please. They're so fun and they would, I think they'd bring a lot to the game. I think Shadow would, probably be like a Samus and a Dark Samus type situation. Like, maybe he's a little slower, but he probably hits harder,
Sure,
you
but you can
know?
also kind of go crazy with it and go to the OG Shadow game and give him guns. Why not?
True. I was gonna say guns would be crazy, and then I realized like so many of them have
So many
guns
of
or
them have gun like Bayonetta, right?
yeah,
And so it's like Joker,
Snake.
Snake.
Yeah.
You're right, but like
Half of the items are guns. Like,
right. And that's the thing. I think sometimes they do a character that kind of kits another character, which could have been Shadow and Sonic. But also, I'm just like, I don't know if I need a double down. Like they could have just been another skin, and that's something I wish Smash
yeah,
did, where you just had like let's say Ryu and Ken. I get it; they are technically
yeah,
different characters, and they do have different kids. But I wish it was like three the outfits were Ryu, three the outfits were Ken, and then that slot could have been someone else that we could have got instead
that's
of
fair.
getting a different. Because like Cloud and Sephiroth play completely different,
Sure, yeah.
so it's like they don't really play different. Like a lot of the Fire Emblem characters, I know a lot of Fire Emblem fans are probably listening to this and gonna yell at me for it, but
Oh, we're gonna get beat up for this.
I just don't need so many because there's
Yeah,
other so many fun things that could be in there. Like we were talking about
there's a lot of fun
earlier,
franchises.
Banjo and Kazooie in the game. Like that's awesome,
Yeah,
but where
I
is
would love Crash
Crash
Bandicoot.
Bandicoot?
If Crash
Exactly.
Bandicoot was in Smash, I would force that character to be my main.
Right. And it's like
Oh,
it's one of your favorites, right? And like for me, I would love Chibi Robo. I don't even know if you know
oh,
what Chibi Robo is.
I feel like I've heard it,
Chibi
but
Robo was almost on my top five because it's such a classic game for me and
oh,
my
that's
family.
awesome.
But you're Chibi Robo in general, just like this little guy that's like a little robot that's taking care of a family
Okay,
that the dad made, and they get the Chibi Robo.
yeah,
But it actually has some of the most emotional gameplay I've had as a kid. I'll
okay,
have to show it to you later. But anyways, Chibi Robo would be such a fun character to add because
yeah,
he has such a like fun tool that could be added on Smash Bros. But a lot of our favorite characters get thrown as trophies
yeah.
or assists, and it's like, come on.
What's a character that you would add beside, or if you
Well,
have
it'd be
another
Chibi
one?
Robo.
But what, you have another one?
I mean, the character I have can lead to my number one game if we're following.
Ooh,
Well, is Capcom actually in Smash Bros. At all?
um,
Well, I was thinking Metal Gear is Capcom, but I actually can't remember if it is or isn't. I'm gonna say it to lead into my one and just leave Smash
okay.
Bros. And go to Leon S. Kennedy. Would be
Oh,
so fun to parallel a character like Solid Snake
yeah,
because you can have different kits with explosives, RPGs like classic Leon thing. You could have guns. You could have Marvel vs. Capcom did it when you had Jill. You
sure,
would Chris were in it. And you can throw like a zombie at someone, which is fun. I don't
yeah,
know. His kit would be cool. But getting into my number one, you might have heard it already. Resident Evil, the series. But if I have to pick, it's four. Resident Evil
sure.
4. And if I had to pick between the remake and the OG, it's such a close call.
Oh yeah.
So
What are you going with?
close. I'm going remake
Fair.
because it's
They remade it
just
for a
so
reason.
phenomenal. They remade it for a reason and they perfected the game that I thought was my favorite of all time, which was for the OG.
Sure.
Um, Resident Evil.
Yeah,
You hear me talk about it all the time.
I do.
Everyone knows I love it. It's
Uh-huh.
just so wonderful to me. It's impacted me throughout my life from the games, the movies, the animated and the live action, which notoriously a lot of people don't love, but I love it.
Mm.
But Resident Evil has been a game series that I have followed through since the GameCube. So talking about
Yeah.
getting a GameCube for the first time, one of the first games I was gifted was Resident Evil 4.
Mm.
And I remember the first level, you're basically in a village getting chased by the chainsaw guy.
Okay.
And I remember pausing the game so scared. And I was like, I don't think I can do this, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm able to do it.
Oh
And
God.
my brother, like, he wasn't there for me. They actually played it by myself. But I remember, like, him telling me, like, you're probably going to be scared of this game. Just do it. Just try.
Yeah.
You die, you die. It's fine. Keep going.
Yeah.
And what happened is I ran straight to where I knew the shotgun was because my brother gave me that as a tip.
Yeah.
Grabbed the shotgun, barricaded the room, and just was screaming by myself the whole time while shooting at people. And eventually there's a thing in the first level where a bell rings
Sure.
and everyone just leaves. So it's made to be just kind of like survive. The more you play the game, the better you're at Resident Evil. That first level, you can hit it in two waves. Resident Evil 4, you can either survive until the bell rings, which future later a character named Ada is saving you,
Mhm.
or you kill the Chainsaw Man and you kill enough people for the bell to ring because it's like, okay, you did really good.
Sure.
The first time I played, I'm screaming, running away, having the time of my life.
Yeah.
And then you get the most iconic line because Resident Evil 4, the original one, is so cheesy that everyone goes and Leon walks outside after surviving this wave of villagers and he goes, "Where'd everyone go? Bingo?" And it's like,
What?
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 And it's just so funny and I
I have
love
to check out a clip of that.
I had to show it to you, but that's why I loved it so much because Resident Evil, it's a horror game, and a lot of the Resident Evil games are horror, but they have comedy in it in a way
Yeah.
that's supposed to uplift you for a second or make you feel a little fine. Even in Resident Evil, shout out Resident Evil 7 and Village with this character named Ethan Winters,
Yeah.
who's a protagonist that's just going through it.
Yeah.
But dude is the funniest character ever. And yeah, that's why I love Resident Evil because it touches on a lot of things I like, which is horror, survival horror,
Yeah.
um, and really having to lock in while playing these characters and feeling the fear when you're put into it, but also laughing a little when you hear a character do something silly and goofy.
Yeah.
And when you compare the OG to the remake did add a lot of the humor from the OG, so Leon
Yeah.
still gets his bingo line, which is awesome.
Okay, that's good.
But 4 is a lot more cheesier. So
Sure.
4 feels like a campy horror game, kind of like a campy horror movie,
Yeah.
where 4 feels a little bit more authentic and a little more realistic
Sure.
into what you can of a zombie infested
Yeah.
like La Plaga's world. And also, as someone, for me, well, something that makes Resident Evil 4 so iconic is they speak Spanish in the game.
Oh yeah?
So the creature, not the creatures, the Los Plagas, the people who are infected by the plague, this like infected like alien bug creature thing, they're speaking in Spanish, talking to Leon. Obviously, in the original Leon, his character kind of knew Spanish, not really. And for the remake, he actually speaks Spanish, which is so awesome and funny.
Whoa.
But yeah, they're saying things like "atrás de ti, pendejo," which is like cut that out, but like "I'm behind you," blank.
Oh.
And they're me knowing Spanish at the time, not speaking it because I was a No Sabos kid. I knew what they were saying, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my god!" So I would turn around and someone was behind me.
Oh my God, that's
So for
scary.
me, it was
That's
like another level of like knowing they're talking to me, whereas other
yeah.
people like they didn't know what they
It
were
just
saying, and
didn't.
just get hit in the back, which is also scary.
Yeah.
So there's just so many elements that connected to me within the game, and then growing up around the Resident Evil ones and playing all the series, you just kind of get attached to these characters, and that's why I'm obsessed with Resident Evil in general. I'm replaying the first one right now,
Yeah.
which is so fun. But Resident Evil 4, the remake, I think is just an outstanding video game because it remastered, redid a classic,
Yeah.
but made the mechanics a gazillion times better.
Yeah.
Like in the first one, you can't even walk and shoot. When you're
Really?
shooting, you're stuck in a place, stationary. You have
Whoa.
to like move like this, like a laser.
Okay.
And in 4, you're running and
You
shooting,
do.
like you feel like an authentic like action hero.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the remake is just so wonderful. It touches a lot on things. It updates some stuff that maybe didn't get that much.
Yeah.
A lot of the characters and the side villains and stuff like that have a little bit more lore, and
Yeah.
it connects a little bit more, cleaning up because they're remaking more. And shout out Resident Evil Requiem coming out soon, Resident Evil
Ooh.
9,
Whoa.
which
We got a new
were
one?
a new one coming out in February, touching back to Leon again,
Oh.
with another character. I'm forgetting the name at the time, but yeah, and we don't really know much what's happening. We just know you might be going back to like some form of Raccoon City, which is full circle for
Yeah.
poor boy who just can't catch a break.
Dang. Sounds
Oh,
fun.
I love Resident Evil so much.
Which game has the vampire
I know
lady?
you. I already knew what you were gonna say.
I knew. I knew.
That's Resident Evil Village.
Resident Evil Village.
So around the time that Resident Evil was making games, we had Resident Evil 5, which was the first time you had co-op in Resident
Sure.
Evil with Chris and Shava, which was so much fun. And then you had Resident Evil 6, which was like an older Leon, and you play like multiple different stories. It was Leon and Helena, Jake Mueller, who is Wesker's son, which you might not know, but Wesker's a big character
Mm.
within the Resident Evil one that ends up being a villain.
Mm.
And Sherry Birkin, who's the little girl in Resident Evil 2 grown up, which is huge. And you get Chris Redfield and Pierce. So you have so many different stories happening. It's like
Yeah.
almost like episodic. So you have
Yeah.
kind of like what we talk about a little bit in Alan Wake 2, but in this one you have to play it in order of those characters, but there's
Sure.
different things happening around the same times
Okay.
and with different characters, which is so much fun. But Resident Evil 6 did not do good. It's known as
Hmm.
the worst Resident Evil game of all time. A lot of people think of it as a cult classic. I like it. I get why people didn't like it, but I
Sure.
appreciate it. But at that time, because it did so bad, they were like, oh, we need to make another game and get back to our roots, which is survival horror, where a character isn't like an action hero, but they're struggling. So then you
Sure.
get Resident Evil 7, which follows Ethan, someone who's just looking for his wife, and it feels very like, uh, what's it called when you're following a character with a POV? And where Resident Evil used to be third person, at this point, you get to a first person perspective,
Oh,
which is so
okay.
cool. And again, you're following the Baker family, which is like people who are infected in a different way than we've seen before, where they can regenerate and stuff, and they're like almost like serial killers chasing you around.
Yeah.
Eventually, what gets that character is to Village is again his wife gets kidnapped and some other things, but at this point he's had training from Chris Redfield from the first game. Oh, another thing here and there. And
Yeah.
you get to the vampire ladies, and you might be thinking, why are vampires and werewolves? Because there's werewolves
Yeah.
added in Resident Evil. This doesn't make sense, but it connects you to some Umbrella Corporation lore that we
Sure,
never
I've
would
heard
have
of
known
Umbrella
without these
Corporation.
games. So it's like it's a whole thing. There's just
Nice.
so much going on in Resident
I
Evil.
I think in this next year I kind of want to dive into Resident Evil a bit with you.
As you say that, I have a 9-hour video of YouTube for Resident Evil history I'm gonna put on for you after this.
That's great.
We're gonna sit here and watch all of it. I don't care we have work tomorrow.
Hell yeah, I'm ready. And with that, should I get into my number one?
Let's do it.
Cool. My number one, going to the opposite of Smash, where like I just like to turn off my brain, hang out with some friends. This is a game that I like to play in the dark. I like to zone in, lock in. I'm not listening to a podcast, not listening to music, because I'm all about the story, the characters, the themes, the heart, and that is God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. If I had to choose, I'd say God of War Ragnarok, just because it's the culmination of the story. Um, but yeah, just to get into it, for the longest time, PlayStation's like golden boy was Kratos in the original games of God of War. Um, it was
Which
a
I
hack and
played
slash
those, yeah.
game. What?
I played those. Didn't play the remakes.
Yeah, so it was a hack and slash game. You're fighting gods and monsters, and your whole thing is that you're on a revenge path, and you're just murdering everybody. So when they decided to reboot these games, they call it a remake, a reboot. It really is just a continuation of the story, but it's doing so by rewriting the character to be someone who's older, who's wiser, who is more mature, who now has a family, and who now kind of sees the error of his ways. Um, the main themes of the game really tackle Kratos kind of reconciling with who he is and him trying to be a better person. And then with that, he's also trying to raise a son who's also, a god like him, and he's trying to make sure he raises his son right
Yeah.
to not be like him from those first games. So throughout the first game, you're playing with him, you're playing as Kratos, and you're playing with Atreus at your side. And throughout the game, Atreus slowly becomes a little bit more and more reckless, angry, like he doesn't think straight. He kills people without like reason.
Yeah.
And Kratos has to realize that he has to be better. He cannot let his son fall down the path that he did, because granted Kratos doesn't think he's a better person now, but he for sure is. But it's the story, that whole story is tackling that subject of,
Hmm.
are you that person you were years ago? Like whether you're a human and you're tackling your past from a year ago, or you're Kratos tackling your past from hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
It's really just saying like, are you your mistakes? Do people change? And are you the person that you were? And it's tackling subjects, and it's tackling them through the eyes of people who are gods and who have like crazy responsibility, and they have to take down like pantheons in order to save the world in different ways. Um, but I've always found that those stories, like Kratos' story specifically, was just a perfect metaphor for people who feel that they've had problems in their life, or things that they messed up, or things that they wish they can take back, which that's not how the world works. In the original games, Kratos literally time travels. They make a point in this game to be like, no, there's no time travel. You are your mistakes, but it's not about what you were, it's what you do now.
Right.
And those games are so beautiful. The gameplay is fantastic. I could talk about the games and the weapons and the Leviathan axe and the spear you get in the second game. But when I think of my favorite games, I think of Kratos and Atreus' story, and to the point where if you took 2018 and Ragnarok and put them together and you just showed the cutscenes, it might even crack my top 5 favorite movies. Its its story is so beautiful to me. It's one of those things where like I've been talking about it for a couple minutes now, but my girlfriend has heard me yap about this game. Sometimes I'll pause a mission in the middle of it and just start explaining the lore of God of War, and I'm just talking about the themes, the lore of the world. I love how they mix the Norse pantheon that we're all familiar with into that world. They do it really creatively,
Yeah.
and it's just so magical and beautiful, and still also incredibly violent. And you get the fun action scenes out of the game. Kratos is still a badass, but at the end of the day, it's about a father and a son, and it's about being better, and it's about not wanting your children to become the worst parts of yourself, and not wanting to revert back to those worst parts of
Hmm.
yourself. Um, like I said, they're gods, but you really can tie that to any part of your life that you think it matters, like it impacts.
Yeah. And I've heard a lot of that from you and from people who also tell me to play the game. And I lied. I did play half the game before I stopped.
Sure, yeah.
So I do have that context of the story between them two. And I love that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are concepts that I really enjoy, especially the dynamic of a mentor and a mentee,
Yeah.
especially a mentee that they're trying to not have take over their mantle, but they kind of figure they are going to at
Yeah.
some point, but they're just fighting that destiny as
Mm-hmm.
the person in charge, as the elder. And that's why I know you would love a game that kept off my top five, but like I mentioned before, Last of Us,
Yeah.
you get a lot of that in Joel and Ellie and the
Yeah.
feeling of, I am my sins, and you being under my wing attaches you to those sins, and that's the last thing I want for you because I'm scared you'll be like me, and I want
Yes.
you to be the opposite.
Exactly.
And a lot of Last of Us 2, I imagine, is kind of maybe similar to Ragnarok. Let me know if not. But where now you're in Last of Us 2, you're following Ellie's eyes of like, now I am ironically following the sins of my father. In Ragnarok, you're still
In
playing.
Ragnarok, you're still playing as Kratos. You do have some missions where you play as Atreus, and Atreus has a lot more plot relevance
Sure.
to the story, and he impacts the world around him a lot more. Um, it really is similar to The Last of Us Part Two, but it's different because you're still very much following
Still
Kratos'
creative.
story.
And without any information of knowing and playing Ragnarok, is there a third one out on the way?
Oh, the community wants one so bad.
Do you think it's done?
Um, I think if it ended here, I think it would be a masterpiece, and
Sure.
I'd be disappointed because I want more from these games, but I would understand why they ended it here.
Yeah.
They gave a bit of an option for there to be an Atreus game in the
Okay. Yeah,
future.
that'd be cool.
They, I think, have wrapped up Kratos' story.
Okay.
If they brought in something new, it would be less about creating a new thing for Kratos and more so him just proving himself even further.
Sure.
Because he went on a beautiful arc in these two games,
Yeah.
and I don't think reverting it would help. I don't think expanding it is necessary. I think, if anything, using it to fortify is the best way to do it.
All right.
So I think making it an Atreus centered game and then having Kratos involved a little bit would be
Could be the
fun,
potential. Yeah.
but who knows?
Who
Because
knows?
they've talked about going to Egypt, they've talked about going to the Mayan culture, they've talked
Okay.
about having all of the pantheons getting involved in some degree or another.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, but I am comfortable with Santa Monica Studio choosing to put a rest to this game.
Yeah. And sometimes that's the thing about games that you love so much. Even though you want them to keep going, should they? Yeah.
Exactly. And I'd be very disappointed if we ended up getting a new game and then I didn't like it. It's
Right.
like watching a sequel to a movie that you loved and the sequel doesn't hold up, so now it retroactively makes the first one worse. I try to not let that bother me, but just sometimes
Sometimes,
it
especially in
does.
gaming, it happens, right?
Yeah.
Where you feel like, again, that's like Last of Us, same thing to compare the two.
Yeah.
A
I've heard
lot
a
of
lot
people
of the
want a third one.
controversy.
I feel like it's done.
Yeah,
I feel like it's done. I feel
and
like
that's
if you want
fair.
to make another Last of Us game, you could do it anywhere else
Different
in the
world.
world in different time. It doesn't matter. Don't connect anymore the same characters.
Yeah.
We had those stories. They were beautiful. They ended for a reason.
Yeah.
They did leave it in a way where you could continue with Ellie.
Yeah.
You could continue with the other protagonist,
Yeah.
but Dewey's the thing.
I think they always leave it on those little cliffhangers just because if the audience is really like begging for it and the studio executives are like, yeah, clearly if we're going to make money and you guys have a good story, you can do it. But they also try to close the chapters so that if there is nothing, you can kind of be fine with it.
Yeah.
But that being said, let's get into our honorable mentions because I want to, like going off of what we were just saying, I want another Red Dead Redemption game. I don't want it to have anything to do with the people that we know.
That's fair. You know,
And
I've
if they do, I'd want it to not even like maybe like some overlap, but I'd prefer if we just did something in that world because what's not to love about open world cowboy game. Um, but I like where they left everything off.
And I never played any of them. I know I should.
Oh,
Just when I was playing it on the 360 when it first came out, the first mission was kill Fox, and
yeah.
I was so obsessed with Fox at the time I couldn't do it.
Second
Legit,
one's kill a
couldn't
deer,
do it.
so
Ugh.
get ready for that.
But no, I've heard again. As someone who loves westerns, and I need to play it. But
Yeah. But yeah, so do you want to rattle off some of your honorable
yeah, I
mentions?
mentioned it already. Last of Us and Batman,
Yep,
the Arkham
Arkham
trilogy.
games.
Those ones are wonderful. Being able to be Batman in the suit, and I think the games do combat very well. And the riddles and the Riddler challenges and stuff like that, the lore that they delve into the characters. One of my favorite things when you die in the Batman game or when you lose or whatever, one of the villains that beat you says like a little quip at you, and I
Yes.
think that that's so much
I
fun.
do I do remember that and I think it's a very fun it's a fun death screen.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um Actually we should talk about death screens in a part 2 of this because I know it's
Yeah,
going
there are,
long.
there are a lot of ones.
But yeah, continue with your
Final Fantasy VIII, I said it now, is
oh
my
yeah.
favorite Final Fantasy game of all time. This is so debatable, and a lot of people are going to say Final Fantasy VII. Hey, I get it. I
Yeah.
grew up with 8.
Fair.
It is what it is. It has
Yeah.
a trading card game. Music's amazing.
Yeah.
The videos kind of look beautiful for the game that it was.
Yeah.
Fight me.
Any more?
Let's see. I'm drawing blanks for a second. Mario Party. I love Mario Party.
Mario Party's
Oh
great.
my god, I love it.
What I feel like I didn't care what edition I was playing. If I was just playing with a group of friends, I was having a great time.
Mario Kart Double Dash.
Mario Kart. Hot take, if I had to pick between Smash, Mario Kart, and Party, I'm putting Kart last.
Interesting.
out of the three.
I mean, I get it. Like I said, it's a racing game. And
I'd even put golf, Mario Golf,
whoa, and tennis.
and tennis. I like the Mario Kart games. People are obsessed with the Mario Kart games
Sure,
that in a way that I just never got into. Maybe racing games just like aren't for me. I don't know.
sure. Jet Set Radio feature
I do know about Jet
was
Set Radio,
so fun because the music in the game is
and that's
amazing. One
the
of my
part I've
favorite.
heard about.
And also you're like on rollerblades graffitiing and fighting
Yeah.
crime and like
No, that's
it's
cool.
so cool.
That's really good. Cool. So I'm just gonna run through mine. So I talked about Fortnite. I love just being able to turn off my brain, play some games with some friends. The Crash Bandicoot games, those games I played with my dad. I do not picture my dad as someone playing video games, but I remember playing on the PS1. He would play Crash Bandicoot and Crash Team Racing, which was a
Yo,
Mario Kart game, but with the Crash Bandicoot
yeah,
characters. It was a great time. The Crash Bandicoot games are very fun. They're very easy, and I got a remaster of it recently, and it's a
awesome.
lot of fun. But then I also have, let's see, Halo 2. Me and my friend, shout out Tom, one of a childhood friends, we like would just go and play this one mission over and over again. Thinking about it now, we were trying to speed run before we even knew what speed running was.
That's beautiful.
I don't. You played the campaign of Halo 2?
All of them.
Do you know the one where the giant metal robot, where it looks like a spider,
Yeah,
is going down the road?
yeah, yeah.
We would play that one literally on repeat.
Why
Like,
that one?
I don't know, dude.
It was just the one that you
Because
guys liked.
you had to, it started on a bridge, and you had to go across a bridge, and we would try to hijack the different,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you would try to get the alien tech, and we would just mess around. But then we'd try to get onto the spider, like, way earlier than you were supposed to in the
yeah.
game, and we just had such a fun time playing it.
Would you ever play Halo 2 on the highest difficulty? I'm forgetting what it's called, but it's like a real big thing in like gaming communities where you're trying to be
Oh
on.
no.
Oh, it's not
Like we
slay.
weren't good at the
It's
game. When I say,
legendary on the
oh yeah.
legendary mode.
No, we were not good at the game. Like we just played it and we just like loved running around and like the little aliens were always really funny
The
and like
grunts and all that. Yeah,
yeah.
little. I mean, hey, maybe if anyone in the chat wants us to get on stream and play Halo like one on
Anything.
a legendary mode, and we can't get off stream until we beat.
Oh my God, beat a level.
We're there
Like yeah.
forever. You
I think that'd be really fun.
know?
But yeah, going off of that, I love sequels apparently because I have Assassin's Creed 2. Ezio's story is just absolutely brilliant. Everything they do with that story is just phenomenal. Love the gameplay, love the story. It's just awesome. I talked about Pokemon Diamond. Dialga was my dude. I would show up. I'd be the 12-year-old like Ash Ketchum, showing up to whatever, like playing the bug guy in on Route 15 or whatever with my legendary God of Time Pokemon. Um, I have the Lego Star Wars original games, like not the
Whoa.
ones that were remade a couple years
Yeah, yeah.
ago,
No, you're talking about the
but the
OG one.
original Lego Star Wars games. Those were so much fun. And like I said, that was also a game that I played with my friend Tom, where we were just running around, just being menaces to the world that we were in. Um, and then yeah, to close it out, I've got the Wii Sports Resort, and then a quick little shout out to a game called Flat Out 2. It's a cars game, and the main game is a racing game, but we
Okay.
never played that. There was a mini games mode where you could play baseball, bowling, darts, ski jump, but you were in a car, and you had to do these things on like they were basically like you were pitching and you were like you were the ball and you were flying and then a bat came and swung and
Yeah.
you tried to get a home run by whacking the car. Like it was just a bonkers game that we just loved playing. It's just a great time.
That sounds like so much fun. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I'll shout out some other games, like some nostalgic games I grew up with. A party game called Fusion Frenzy.
Okay.
There's a whole bunch of games that I played that aren't really big now. I think there's one game called Stupid Invaders. It was like
Okay.
a really silly, really bad game for its time that I remember I should have been playing, but my brother had played it and it was so much fun. Silent Hill series that I never really played myself. I just watched people play it.
Yeah.
Um, what else? Crazy Taxi was a lot of fun.
For
Actually, one of the
sure.
only racing games I probably liked playing.
Are the people
Uh,
going to be mad at us that we have not mentioned GTA once during this podcast?
you know what? When the next GTA comes out in 25 years, we'll talk about
Yeah, GTA 26. Maybe we'll also be like, 85.
it.
Um,
But there are so many more
yeah,
games I want to get into that
I do
we
want to
just
get into
don't
a
really
part
have the
two.
time to get into it right now.
Yeah,
I think there's so many ways to break different episodes for it. But hey, I think that we did talk about our favorites,
we
and
did.
that was not where I thought we would gonna go for
No.
as long as we did.
Guys, we actually didn't. We thought of the like movies, TVs, and games that we would be talking about games the least, and like we did, but just barely. We have been talking about this for a good amount of time. We had a great time. Like we said with movies and with TV, we're probably gonna do a part two where we talk about some other games that we didn't get a chance to. So if you're interested, please let us know games that we missed. If you're a big GTA fan and you're mad that we didn't even mention GTA once in our top 10 or top 5 and our honorable mentions, please let us know. Roast us. We're ready for it. And then let us know if any other games that we missed. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think yeah, like Brian mentioned, let us know what we missed, and also just let us know what you like.
Yeah. Also, I know something that's definitely going to show up in the part two because we only talked about video games. We are going to have to talk about board games in the next time that we talk about games.
That's right. We did talk about the idea of board games and video games, but video games just feels like its own category, and
I
board
mean,
games
yeah,
separate.
if we tried talking about board games now, we'd be here for 2 more hours.
And then we might also have to talk about video game adaptations into movies and television,
Yeah.
which is so fun.
So, guys, whatever you're interested in hearing, we would love to talk about it. We'd actually love to talk about it with you guys. So, feel free to comment on literally wherever you're seeing this. Find us in our DMs on like our socials and just, berate us about what we did or didn't talk about. We're ready for it. You ready to head out?
Let's go.
Guys, this has been Coasting the Mediaverse. We've been talking about games today. I hope you guys had a great time. I'm Brian.
This is Michael.
And I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.